Hey guys. Hey Isabel. Um, where is that thing that that this thing that makes there it is. Optimize. I have all this special stuff to use less memory so my computer's fans don't go on. I'm like a whiz on the computer now, but I shouldn't curse myself. Nice. Looking good. I'm just making a hot water bottle. I will be back. Oh, I love hot water bottles. Oh. Of course I get my blood. My favourite weather, I think, one of my favourite weathers is... Oh. It's sunny and cold. Oh, I love it. When it's bright blue sky and then it's like got a chill in the air. If you put your jumper on. That's my favourite. But I do like seasons. Oh, there we go. Nice. Got my death necklace on, got my hot water bottle, my cashews. What more? So hi guys, welcome to Ustream. You can catch me every Sunday at 6 p.m. and every Wednesday at 6 p.m. French time. I'm going to be away now for about a month, so check out on my website to see what dates I'll be back talking. And most will be the beginning of November. You're more than welcome to come to one of my events. This coming next weekend, I will be in Barcelona. Let me just have a look. So next weekend I'll be in Barcelona, the Friday and the Saturday, the 14th and the 15th of October. So I'll be doing 2 talks. Then I'll be doing a 2-week intensive retreat in southern Spain, the 18th to the 1st November. And we've had some cancellations, so there is space to book again. Online retreat, the 19th of November. And I'll be doing talks in London, Saturday the 17th of December till Sunday the 18th of December. So that's 2 days of talks. You need to book those talks in London because they're normally very popular, because I don't do that many talks in the UK. And then I'll be doing talks in Tiruvannamalai from Friday the 30th of December till Friday the 20th of January. And I'll be doing daily talks then. And you can find that all on my website. Just type in my name and .com afterwards. And you can also see the live streams there. You can also find the links below this video. You can also donate for me doing talks. It would be very nice if some more people donated or subscribed. Not very many people actually donate for these talks. So if you feel like doing that, you can also find my website. And you can also book sessions on my website as well if you want to do a session. There's the advertisement over and done with. And if you want to ask a question, last week I said that if you wanted to be edited out afterwards, you could be if you showed your face, but we tried and it was so complicated. So the video from last week, you'll notice now everybody has a blurry face in it because I couldn't work out how to just do one person. I really tried, but I just gave up. So you just basically can hear the audio and we're all blurry. So this week, if you want to call in, you have to say beforehand if you just want it to be audio, and don't turn your camera on if you don't want people to see you. If you want to stay anonymous and it just be the voice, then you have to tell me before. And then if you do show your face, I can't get it off after, so you have to make up your mind. I know it can be quite scary, but who cares? I know you worry about your job or you worry about your family or something, but it's going to come out one day. And if you want to get messages to when I go live, this is how you do so. You have to click there. It says send me all notifications, save. So you click on my page. So you go to Lisa Cairns, then you press subscribe, and then you click on the button next to subscribe and you put send me notifications, save. So you click subscribe, the little button next to it, send me notifications. And so you go to Lisa Cairns, so just type into Lisa Cairns on YouTube and you'll find my page. But I think I'd like to do some silent sitting for a little bit at the beginning. I often like to do that. I know this is unheard of and everyone's like, God, we want you to speak, woman. But there's something really beautiful about just sitting with everything, not doing a meditation, not particularly trying to stay with your emotions or block anything out, just being really genuine and letting everything come and go. And even if you're not being genuine, even if you're trying to get somewhere, just let that happen as well. Everything is welcome. No, talk, Lisa. So the self is built of layers. So it's built of different ideas which have become sucked into the body and held as an energetic contraction inside the body, feeling like that's who you are. And it has so many layers to it. And basically, the illusory self is always in a state of seeking to be something and seeking for pleasure. And to be something is pleasurable to that person. To be a somebody is pleasure. So it's always seeking for a permanent sense of self. And it's always looking to tell itself a story of what it is, who you are, and what world it's in, and what it's in relationship to. And this is very important. And this is happening all the time. And it's always changing who you think you are, but it will tend to have patterns. So in every interaction, the person will be trying to present its sense of self. And as it presents it successfully, it will feel a lot of pleasure. So if it's trying to be a nice person, it will subtly tell stories about how it's nice and the nice things it's done. It will try to guide the conversation in that direction. And it might tell stories of what other people have done that are bad, in order to highlight its niceness. And it won't be realistically looking at what the body's done. It will be living in a story of what it feels like it's done, or what it wants to be. And it will forget other information. It will just focus in on the information that confirms itself. And then it will seek to fulfill that idea that it has. So it'll do things. If it wants to be a nice person, it might do things, give to charities, do lots of nice things, like become a saint or help children, whatever it is. So it's always looking to be somebody in time. If it's a hard worker, then it will always be trying to work. If it's getting the jobs done, whatever it is, it will constantly be trying to validate itself in the world around it. A good mother, good father, loving husband. And when it doesn't fulfill that, it suffers. So when it fulfills it, it's very pleasurable and it feels satisfying. But when it doesn't fulfill it, which will be half the time, you'd say logically, it suffers. So when it doesn't manage to be a nice husband or wife, and the partner thinks that you've been an arse, it will suffer. And it will keep trying to prove itself, prove who it is. Who you think you are is a seeker. Who you think you are is not who you are. That illusory person isn't who you are. It's a seeker. It's always seeking to maintain an image in time and try to get to pleasure and avoid pain. And that's all it's interested in. It's not a good person. It's not a bad person. It's not a right person or a wrong person. It's only interested in seeking. That's all. So who you think you are is only interested in itself. It has nothing to do with compassion or non-compassion. Compassion is this instant. So everything you do as a seeker is about yourself, fulfilling your seeking. Whatever story you tell yourself, how you want to be a nice person or how you want to be a victim or a bad person, it's only about fulfilling yourself. Even in a negative way, because if you have a negative self-image, then that's what it will try to maintain. After years and years of this game, suffering becomes very strong in the body because it's an absolute illusion, the separate self. And the seeker can never work. The seeker can never win. It's always set up to lose because there is no person there. So you can't maintain yourself. You can't maintain a fixed world. But when I say all this, I'm not saying live in a new story of that, because the seeker hears it and then leaves these talks with it and thinks that what I'm saying is something it adds on to itself. That's mine, that's the way I see things. But if you live through the concepts that I'm talking about, and you live through those ideas and you try to become those ideas, you will suffer. More, most probably. This is actually a process of unpicking the illusion and becoming more and more real. And seemingly in time, while that happens, the human goes through a process of not lying to itself anymore. While it lies to itself, the illusory self carries on. So it stops lying to itself. So if you're sitting in a restaurant and it's not the restaurant you want to go to, but you want to be nice and spiritual about it, go, oh no, it's wonderful, it's perfect, that's exactly why I should be here, because this is That isn't spirituality, that's just a new story of yourself. You've got to be totally honest. I bloody hate this restaurant, I fucking hate this restaurant, I don't want to be here. Not try and be something else than what you are. Just be honest to what's arising. Just letting it out. You don't have to say it, but just not being in denial of what's actually being experienced. It's the denial that keeps the illusion going. And eventually these ideas and that negative way of thinking and that self-centered way of thinking will begin to dissipate. But the only way it dissipates is by not living a lie anymore. So please don't use non-duality or spirituality to become a new ego. To try to not be somebody will be immense suffering. Like the way out of the person is in a way to be fully the person, to no longer deny what that person is. For seeing it what it is. And that can be painful because you want to be the nice person. And sometimes grisly stuff comes up, dark ideas come up. But that's what happens when you've lived your life repressing half of it and only trying to hang on to the light. Only the good things. It's never going to work. And so now the shadow of that person has to come up. And you won't always feel like that. There'll be times where you feel darkness coming up and then times when you don't feel darkness coming up. But this isn't about taking home what I say. I say what I say to unpick the ideas that are there already, not to give you something, because you don't exist. This is beingness, this is boundlessness experiencing itself now. This isn't somebody, this isn't a limitation experiencing itself. That's never been the truth. So Sebastian Earthwalker says, hi Lisa, does it make so-called awakening more likely if there are certain things practiced, like being intimate with feelings or being aware? It just doesn't work like that, Sebastian. You're wanting to negotiate with awakening. You're saying, if I do these things, will I get there? If I invest my energy, then will I get to this place? Just forget about the destination. This is about remembering what's actually happening. You don't even know what liberation is, but yet your mind now is fixated on this idea of liberation. What is liberation, Sebastian? Now, how am I going to get there, Mr. Holmes? There's lots of teachers out there that will tell you very directly how to get there, but this is just a new con. I suggest to people when speaking to them live to feel their feelings, but it's a really live thing, you know, and then if they're not, then sometimes I say don't do that. But see how your mind is hooking onto that. What your mind should hook on to is an exploration of what's happening now. Now. This is what's always been here. And the person's always been like, yes, but what about in 2 years' time? Will I be enlightened from what I do now? That's never going to work. Who are you trying to bargain with? Your freedom is always in the instant. Always. But if I'm speaking with you and I experience somebody that's trying to use non-duality to deny emotions, then I'll point you into the body. Or if I can feel that you're not being honest, then I'll point you into the body. But you don't even know what that means, Sebastian. You say, I just want to be free from the apparent me. Do you? Come on. Where's the honesty, Sebastian? You don't know what that means. That's really ethereal and existential. What do you really want, Sebastian? Freedom. Right in this moment, go into your body, feel everything that's going on, and what do you want in this moment? What would you like? Really, honestly, truly. And see if you can go deeper with any answer that you give. Well, he's not writing anything back, but I'm going to go on to suggest that maybe, Sebastian, what you want is just to... Oh, he's writing back. There is just silence. Yeah, ultimately there is just silence. But often what the person wants is just not to feel uncomfortable now. They just don't want to feel uncomfortable now. It's not actually interested in the future or the past. When it feels uncomfortable, it doesn't want to. It wants to feel more comfortable. And if you really get down to it, you don't care about enlightenment. What you care about is not feeling uncomfortable now. And the reason that you care about making sure you're not uncomfortable in the future is only to relax you now. It's only about what's happening now. This is the only time you're interested in. You elaborate on stories in time in order to feel better now. So, if it's this moment that you want to be better, obviously you've got to explore what's the actual discomfort in this moment. And just keep being honest to yourself. I don't like my life. I don't like my life. I don't like sitting here. I don't want to sit here. Don't, rather than put it in the positive of I want to become enlightenment, because it's like that's already a lie. Look what's underneath. Look what the thought processes are underneath. Explore it. Be totally honest with yourself, and then you'll begin to see it changes. It's in the lies that the game carries on. So your lie, Sebastian, is I want to become enlightened. And how do I do that? Do I do it by feeling or practicing? Actually, now you're feeling confused, so you're looking for some clarification. So clarification isn't going to help. Just be honest, I feel confused. You know, often we put it in the positive because of grandeur, because it makes us feel better about ourselves, like we feel higher. I want to become awakened. That's so much more proud to say that than to say I feel uncomfortable now and I don't know how to not feel uncomfortable. That's so genuine and honest and beautiful. This shows real strength. To really go down into the heart of the matter. Such vulnerability. I want to become enlightened is like an arrogance. Always being genuine. If you guide me, there is nothing wrong with me now, with the now. But when I'm alone, the mind becomes so painful. But forget about that. This is what's important. See that you're thinking, when I'm alone, the mind becomes so painful, because there's fear now. Forget about time. Time has been your distraction. This is the freedom. Go into the feeling in the body that's afraid of the future. So, he says, the mind can't accept the freedom. Problems, problems, problems. Go into the body. So what? The mind can't accept the freedom. So the mind's going, it's okay. It's okay. I know I sound so harsh, but the mind always comes with things to do, this and that, and avoids this and that. Yeah? So just sit. Let the mind go. It's okay. You're okay. Your nature is the whole universe. And this is infinite. There's no hurry. Just let the mind go crazy. It's okay. Just let it say all it says. This is wrong, this is wrong. This is right, this is right. I want this. Just let it be. I know I sound so harsh. I was listening to, I think I told you this last time, I was listening to some women speakers recently. Just because there were so few women speakers or so few that I knew about, and maybe because I was attracted to the no I message, there was so few women speaking then. And so I've been watching female speakers and they're so kind. All the women speakers are so gentle. They're like da 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 da. Not all of them, but the ones that I've been watching, and speak in such a sweet voice. And when they say everything, it's very kind and sweet. And I'm so abrasive. I'm like, forget it. I mind myself sometimes of the grumpy Yuji Krishnamurti, the one that's just like, shut up. Not all the time, grumpy. Like, I take it with humour, but I just find I get more and more to the point. And it just comes up with everything. It's always trying to get you in a story. Yes, but help me. Always trying. And I don't mean to be mean, because I know what it's like when you suffer and it's just so hardcore. And you just want like a kind hand or a loving hand. Look, just for part of the talk, I'll give you a loving hug. There's my loving hug. I do love you. I know. But sometimes it's like rip the plaster off fast. Like, yeah. Okay. Was that enough, Sebastian? And on the other side, there is a pain in the body that seems so scary. The mind is so convincing, making me follow the thoughts that seem urgent. Yeah. So just then, this is when I say go to the body, like rest your attention on that fear. It will pass. It's that fear which keeps the mind running, keeps the person running. And they're kind of like, they go together, because as soon as identification happens, there is the initial emotional reaction of fear, because suddenly you're in relationship with this world. And then there's also the initial emotional reaction of lack, that you've lost wholeness, that you've been abandoned by God, that you've been abandoned by something free. So then those are the two strong emotions that arise. And then the seeker sees that as a bad thing. It's not even conscious, but it tries to avoid those. So it's like it feels the abandonment and the loneliness and the fear, so then it tries to find safety. It's not that it's bad or wrong or thinks about it consciously. The body just goes because it has these strong impulses, but they're false impulses. That wasn't true. It was an illusion that there was someone in here. And then it spends its whole life trying to find safety, trying to find the end of fear. And in a way, it perpetuates it by the perpetual running from it. There was a lot of p there. It's okay. Underneath that fear and surrounding that fear is your essence, is the amness. You are that amness, which is totally free. You never needed to go out of yourself in order to find the freedom. But the fear covers the amness, and then the person runs like layers. And it runs in such weird stories, so it thinks that to get rid of that fear, it needs to be more powerful than its partner. And if it's more powerful than its partner, it won't feel vulnerable. So then it's always playing power games on its partner, whatever it is. So many bizarre things it does. And I mean, the human is a manipulator. It is a player. It's an animal. Like Khaleesi's a player. So there's that natural tendency that's always going to be there, that's manipulative and plays and tries to get the last piece of the cake, or tries to get somebody to help without paying whatever it is, or tries to get more money. But it's the suffering really comes when you see yourself as finding happiness in that game, whereas that game just happens here. It doesn't complete me in any way. It's just a functioning that happens. It's okay to type, yes. I'm just going to talk to Sasha in a minute, but these people, I just write this. Yes, what I want most is to feel no fear and anxiety. It's weird. I do seem to want my mask ripped off, even if it's painful, because I do seem to realise that it's my mask and self-delusions that create so much fear and anxiety. Yeah. Yeah. And so see that you want to not feel the fear and anxiety, and then so the seeker to empower itself says, I want enlightenment. and it's not even aware of what it's doing. I want enlightenment, I want freedom. And it puts it in the positive, and then that gives a boost, which is okay, but I'm just trying to show the levels of that illusion. There's nothing wrong with it, but it will just stop running. It will stop trying to be somebody. I even sense an utter terror underneath, and when I sense the edge of that, I have an image of a child weeping deeply, unconsolably. Yeah. 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 It really is a world of suffering, the human realm. And most people are in that world of suffering, but they try to make their life work. They live on the edge, always trying and believing it's their responsibility to make their life work. So they're so pumped up in adrenaline that they're very unconscious about a lot of things. But if you actually ask them to feel the sensations they're feeling, a lot of people feel tight, uncomfortable. The number one drug prescribed, when I was living in Australia, I don't know about the UK, so I can't say that, but in Australia, the number one drug over birth control pill was antidepressant. So, yeah. Okay, Sasha. Hello, Sasha? Hello?
Hello.
Hey, Sasha.
Oh, hi, Lisa.
Hey.
It's just can you see me or?
I can't see you. If you don't want to be seen, everyone else to see you, then don't put your camera on, because otherwise.
Oh no, for me it's okay if they can see me.
Yeah. Okay. Just let me turn your volume down. Just give me 1 second.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can. I think I can hear you well.
Okay. But there is a postponement of the picture and.
There shouldn't be. Are you watching me on Skype, or are you watching me on?
On Skype. No, now it's okay. Yes,
yeah?
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
I felt a bit nervous about calling and about speaking in public, so it's. I think it's good to get over this.
Yeah. Have you got headphones in? Can I ask?
Yes, I have them. Yes.
Yeah? There's a little bit of feedback, but I think it's okay.
I will try to put them in. Yes, so the sound is better.
Yeah.
I hope that they work.
Hello?
Yes, is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay, because I have this old iPhone, it's 4, so...
Yeah.
And I was afraid that it's not going to work, but cool. So actually I don't know why I called. I just I saw the last talk. I watched it afterwards in Friday. You were speaking to Manuela, and it was also nice to see her.
Yeah.
I feel like we are a small family, people that were on the retreat, and also I'm in contact with Vladimir and Christina, and
oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
There is a nice connection between us. Yes, we are in Slovenia also. And there were some weird things happening also after the retreat, because I came to this retreat with some expectations, and also I had some concepts. I thought that I am enlightened or something like that. And in the end, I didn't quite get from this retreat what I expected, and so there was this huge disappointment, and I felt totally down, and so I think it lasted for a few days. So I think that through this suffering, my ego collapsed completely. So then I would just wake up in the middle of the night, and I was crying all night, and
Wow.
I couldn't tell where my body is finishing, and when the room starts, it was just one. So.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And still now, I think that my life now it's more like a smooth flow, not so much struggle. Before it worked, and everywhere it was so much struggling and resistance, but now it just flows more. Still many things are arising. For example, at work, I notice with my senior workers that I feel embarrassed in front of them, and some workers that are not like lower, and then I feel more comfortable with them. So in this way, it is obvious how this ego still is functioning.
Yeah. But it sounds like
So
there was a change that happened, like a collapse. But that's what it does, is it collapses and then it builds bits back up again.
yes, I was tempted not to go working at all, but then just to stay in this peace and oneness. But then somehow I felt it's good if I now, if this happened now, this oneness, that now it has to be tested somehow. So it's to take this challenge of working again to see what happens. So
Yeah.
uh,
Oh, nice.
yes, and but many things are still arising. So,
Yeah. That's
but
okay. That's what it does.
I don't take them so seriously. Yes, you know, it just happens. If the fear comes, I still have those panic attacks. But before I was completely overwhelmed by them. But now, if a panic attack comes, I just allow it to happen. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And it takes, I mean, it's so strong, the sense of separation. It's so strong. It does seem to, in the flow of things, take a period of time for that energy to really dissipate. Like there can be these big awakenings, and then it builds itself back up again. Something happens, and then it comes back in.
Yes, because also before I had so many concepts. I was this very serious spiritual seeker for I think 7 years. I have this friend. He was a Christian, and he was like my mentor or something, like my teacher, and so he advised me to abstain from this life, from work, from girls, alcohol, having fun. So basically for many years I was living just like that,
Yeah.
meditating and praying, and mm, then all these ideas collapsed,
Yeah. Yeah.
that I can reach somewhere. So I've seen that it's just another trick, because maybe I didn't succeed in my career in this world, in money, and so I was trying to now succeed in this spiritual
Yeah.
realm. But
Yeah. That's what it does.
in the end, I would just want to be ordinary now. I just want to be like a child,
Yeah.
just living like my dog also,
Yeah.
not without now this ego between this awareness and the reality. There is this filter of the ego which always comments on even now as I speak to you, you know,
Yeah.
do I sound okay, what will people think about me, and um, I mean it's okay if this arises. So
So what are you feeling right now? What's actually
right
helping
now,
you experience?
yes, still I'm still a bit nervous about this speaking in front of you and in front of people.
Where do you feel that?
Well, my heart is racing a bit, and
Does it make you want to fill the silence?
Yes, yes. Actually, I don't know why. I don't know why am I speaking at all, and what I'm trying to say. So, like, there's nothing to say, and I'm trying to make a story of. Well, but it's been a long time since we've seen each other, so I just wanted to
Yeah, that's
explain
nice.
the background of
Yeah,
what was happening and
yeah.
things and.
No, it sounded really beautiful what's happening, but also what you're most probably trying to do, so I just had to plug my computer in, is trying to find some form of connection, because, these
Yes,
things happen and then you kind of, the person feels really removed from other people that speak about non-duality or other people that know non-duality, so it just wants some form of connection from its other daily life.
yes, yes,
But the
yes.
thing is ultimately you won't even find anything there. I mean, there'll be moments of niceness when you feel connection, but it's always the amness that's the freedom, the aliveness that's the freedom. That's it. There's no more to the story than that. You can try in every way you like and go and do anything, but you'll never find it out there. The only freedom is this presence of what's actually happening. All animals, nature, everything knows this, except the human lives in believing it's in time. And time is pleasure and pain, but pleasure comes and goes just as pain comes and goes. And with the attachment to pleasure, then, and the craving to find completion in pleasure, then you're always in heaven and hell. You have a moment of pleasure and there's heaven, and then the pain comes and you believe you're in hell. Why did God forsake me? Why am I in this pain?
Yes, yes, but this is the past. There was so much of this pain in the past, and now like this, there is no more suffering. And I was depressed all the time before. I didn't have any energy,
Yeah.
and now I just feel this like this flow of life is carrying me,
Nice.
and there is every day, and then there is so many things that I want to do, and so for me it's a bit difficult to focus my attention
Wow.
on.
Wow, that's
It's
beautiful.
really it was a huge change.
Yeah, that's
It was
amazing.
just like it didn't it yes it was happening during the retreat, but then when I came home it was just amazing. Yes,
Wow.
and
Oh, I'm so happy that you called in and said that. I didn't realise that there'd been that, because I remember on retreat you were experiencing a lot of pain.
yes, yes, yes. But now, I mean, even if pain comes, it's okay. Then I say to the life, okay, so bring some more pain. So I can handle all the pain
Yeah.
from this universe, and it's still
Yeah.
okay, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
and also Vladimir and Christina, they helped me a lot. Even during the retreat, sometimes I spoke to them about some issues that I had, and they always. The Vladimir also has always he like cuts through my mind like this, and oh,
Nice.
it's just a concept, yes. And
Nice. Oh, well, thanks for calling and telling
so
me that. That's really beautiful. It made me very happy.
yes,
Yeah.
so
Nice.
even now it's always. But before I had to remind myself, I just had to. When it was flip flopping, then when it disappeared, I was so in this terror, and I wanted it to just to arise again, and
Yeah. Yeah.
but now it's just sometimes I get myself in the flow of my mind. I think about the future, and I met some girl, so should I invite her out? And then it just suddenly remind, okay, I'm thinking, and now then I stop thinking, and then I don't get into this film again of trying to reach for this awareness, but I just let go everything. I remember Muji, he also once said, it's like, it's free to one drop. It's so I completely abandon all effort, and it's just
Yeah.
then there is just this everything.
Yeah.
Mm, so yes, okay, it was
No.
nice to share.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me know. That's lovely.
so
Thank you.
mm,
Speak to you soon.
bye bye.
Bye.
See you.
Oh, nice. Hi Renate. Ah, she made herself a hot water. It's actually really sunny today, but it has dropped in temperature. It's still quite warm, but in the house it's cool. And I don't want to put my heating on yet. Hi Lawrence. Hi Joe. Hi Tanya. Hi Tatiana. Hi Lisa. Would like to know if I can do in any moment. If all I can do in any moment is just be aware of appearances and silence without buying into story, especially when I experience suffering. Hey, I like your name, Tatiana. I think that's how you say it. Well, awareness naturally is. Like that's not you. You know, the you that wants to put its attention in awareness isn't actually who you are. That's a functioning of the body. So the person says, let me move my attention into my belly. And that's actually, there's something that's aware of that. And the reason why there's something aware of that is because that's known. The knower you cannot see. So that's the personal awareness that you're moving. And often in awakening, teachers suggest putting the awareness in the big awareness or putting the awareness in the moment. And if you feel to do that, then do that. If you feel to become more aware of your dynamics, then do that. If not, don't. Really, it's all ultimately happening by itself, and all impulses that arise in you are predetermined, like they're already happened, like it's not you that's doing it. They're a flow of energy that's been happening for billions of years. You could also say it's spontaneously arising now, to contradict that. So ultimately, your movement of attention is the only way it can be and the only thing that can happen. But part of the functioning of the human is this choice maker that feels like it can choose and feels like it can move the attention. And that's not even separation. The separation is then this added energy which claims and says that's a separate entity. The choice maker's got to always be there. There's always the appearance of choice, but that's all it is an appearance. So there's an appearance of someone that can put its attention on the suffering, and that, I think, when you've got strong emotional pains, putting your attention there or looking into them is a really beautiful thing to do. But no, also that's appearing in knowing, that's appearing in the boundlessness. That's not actually an experiencer. That's not actually somebody. If I want to allow the pain, and this is Sebastian again, and accept it, this becomes compulsive too and creates tension. Everything I try to do becomes compulsive somehow. Every technique, every instruction, everything that is tried to be done becomes compulsive and therefore painful. Well, ultimately the one that's doing isn't who you are. There's a boundless freedom that's behind that knows everything. It's also in front of it, it's everywhere. Life is knowing itself now. It's non-located, the knower. So that's the actual freedom, the movement into that. But the reason that person keeps going into stories is because it's trying to complete itself. So your mind is obsessed with trying to find the perfect technique to get to somewhere. And so just go to the bottom of that. So the mind is obsessed with getting the perfect technique to get to enlightenment, to avoid pain. So therefore put the attention on the source of that pain, which is the fear of life, the fear of being alive. And yeah, it's going to hurt, but just let it be there. Welcome everything in. Or are you one of those character Sebastians that always comes up with problems? Yes, but, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but, and so you yes, but. I know it's painful because you're already suffering, and then Lisa's not very compassionate and making fun. But part of that is to snap it out, me being like, oh, don't worry, or being compassionate. It's not really going to get in there to the grittiness. And sometimes in having interactions with me afterwards, it might hurt, but let that pain come up fully. It's doing its job. P.S. Could you say something about my presence is my absence and my absence is my presence, and how that might happen? Thanks, Vinny. I don't know about that saying. It sounds nice though. P.S. It's odd, but a question seems to come up in me when you're wearing the dog jumper. I love my dog jumper. That's sweet. Yeah, but I don't know about what that saying means. I mean, I didn't say it. Maybe I did, but I can have a guess at what it means, but I don't really know. Hi Lisa, I've always had trouble expressing myself verbally and emotionally in public, especially among family. I don't have a problem expressing and feeling my emotions when I'm alone. My question is should I strive for being able to fully express the emotions in front of family and in public as part of my journey towards enlightenment? Also, my family is pretty convinced I'm just selfish, cold human, questioning if I can even love someone, since I'm basically silent almost all the time around them and seemingly emotionless, but talking with people just feels very boring to me. I don't know, that's it's hard to just read a question over Skype. So to just read that and then have an answer as to whether or not you should explore your emotions. My sense is that a lot of men or a lot of very heady people are very cut off from their emotions. And that might be why your family thinks you're cold. If you're very cut off from your feelings, maybe it is just around other people. But you've got to remember everything that you think of the other people is your own imagination and part of your sense of self. So part of your sense of self is to project to other people in order to be in relationship with. So these boring people are you. You're boring. That's the way it is. But I don't mean you as a person, but you project it out there. And most probably the reason you find it boring is because you're cut off, you're not being yourself. If you're being yourself, then you wouldn't exactly just describe interaction with your family as boring as such. It's lots of different things. It's always changing. But most likely you've got an assumed assumption. The pattern that you're repeating with them. So my suggestion when you're around them is to allow your attention to move to your feelings, and most probably what you'll notice if you move to your feelings is that you're in a state of rejection of them. So it's not all their fault. It's like a two-way thing. You're saying no and they're most probably wanting to push something out of you. So see how you have this surface story about they're boring, or you just feel quiet, or you can't say anything, or whatever it is. But go into the feeling when you're actually around them and see if you can keep going deeper. Just keep surrendering to yourself to go deeper. Is that the deepest level? So you're like, yes, they're just boring. They don't interest me. If they did, But go deeper. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be talking to them. Go deeper. I don't want to be talking to them because they ask too much of me. They want too much from me. Go deeper. I can't give them what they want. I don't know how to give them what they want. Go deeper. I don't know how to be lovable to them. I don't know how to be lovable. Go deeper. I'm not enough. I'm not lovable. You'll see it's all layers, and once you get down to I'm not lovable, that's the first emotional reaction that the separate self has to lack and fear. Just keep surrendering to it. The person wants to stay on the surface. It wants to stay on their boring. It's them. There is no them. Whatever you see is all to do with you, your illusion. And then you keep playing the parts again and again. And again. That was for Zoltz. Zolt. She's boring now. Lisa's boring. Hey, Laurie. I'll just see if there's anyone else that wants to talk first, Laurie, and then I'll come back to you if there's no one else. It's so exciting. I shall see you in Spain soon. Not much longer. Khaleesi will be here in Spain. Khaleesi. Me and Khaleesi went, we've been going for bike rides. I've just bought a nice bike and been going for bike rides with my friend who also likes bike riding. I just love doing things like that. My preference is I like, rather than just sitting and having coffee and talking, although that's nice, what I like is I like doing things with people. I really enjoy that. So we've for the last couple of weeks, we've been going for these bike rides all around the area. It's so beautiful, this area. And the other day, Khaleesi, yesterday was amazing. I think we were gone for 3.5 hours cycling. Half of the time we were going uphill, so we weren't so fast for Khaleesi, but then the other half we were going down, so Khaleesi was really running, and she's amazing. But for the rest of the day, she was dead. So was Lisa's butt and legs. I want to take my bike to Spain, Laurie, but I don't think it'll fit in my car. Hi, Ilango. There was another person. Oh, yeah.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the beep.
Okay, sorry, Advil. Maybe you didn't hear me. That was for Advil. Okay. Let's go to Laurie. Oh. Hey, Laurie. Hello? Hello? Laurie! I can't hear you. Oh, hang on, I know why. Speak now. No, I can't hear you. Huh? Okay, you call me. Maybe do a Skype call test quickly. Okay, you call me. Okay, bye. Hello? No. No, there's no sound. Just try your Skype call test. Yeah, call me back. Oh, hello?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, but that's without my earphones. Is it echoing?
I don't know. I don't know if I can necessarily tell. I think it's other people that can tell. Let's ask them.
Ask them, yeah. Because I hear you clearly there.
Hello.
Hello?
Peter's saying hi.
Oh, hey! I thought that I'd got another person on Skype suddenly or something, or because I've got so many screens open. I was like, who's that coming from? I was like, uh-oh, I made a mistake. Hey! I can't see you, but I can hear you. Hey!
Just me.
Okay, sorry, what are we going to do? Oh yeah, so guys, if you could just tell me if that's okay with Laurie's volume.
If I'm echoing
If she's echoing. And do you mind, Laurie, people seeing your picture? I think you've already done it.
No,
No, you
no
don't
problem.
mind.
My hair, I can't blow dry it because at the retreat they said we can't use a blow dryer.
I know.
So I wanted to see what it would look like without it blow drying. It's not too bad, but
Yeah,
it's not.
it's because hang on. You're like, where am I going? It's because they're all solar panels.
Yeah.
So like last time when I got there, it was so funny because they're like, I mean, they're very not economically, ecological, and and then like they were helping me unpack and get my stuff, and I opened my case, and then out pops my hair straighteners, my hair dryer, and they're like, you can't use that, and I'm like, the vain teacher that like they looked at me like, she's got hair straighteners in her. But because I've got flat hair, like my hair's so flat, when I wake up in the morning, it's like sometimes like.
Me too, but mine's curly, so it's awful.
Oh, but it looks really nice. Hang on, just let me look to see if people are okay with the volume. Hang on, I can go on to the chat. So is people okay with the... let me just look. Is the sound okay? Sound is good, no echo. Okay, cool.
Nice. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So it was my earphones that weren't working.
It's weird, eh?
I want to bring my bike. Can I put my bike on the plane?
You can actually.
No.
Yeah, but I think it'll cost you a fortune.
I probably would.
Yeah.
I would love to go biking over there.
Yeah.
I'm a big bike.
Maybe they have bikes, but I don't remember that, and then there wouldn't be enough for everyone. But I don't remember them having bikes. But yeah, it's really hilly, so it'll be so good for you as well. Just walking up those hills, they're so steep as a killer.
Okay, so we're going to need hiking shoes.
Yeah, hiking shoes, yeah.
Okay, definitely.
But also, I think it'll be quite warm as well, so bring warm clothes.
You bring like tank tops and shorts. You're talking.
Yeah,
Not anything.
but also a bit warmer for at night. But also bring like hiking boots if you want to go for a hike. Because it's like it's like mountains. We're on a mountain. We're on a mountainside.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
Cool. Okay, so this is worried about being silent for 10 days.
Well, there might be a little bit of talking in between because when people leave in the middle and stuff. What are you worried about?
Okay, you remember I did it for 5 days at Jeff Foster.
Yeah.
And I came back and there were things happening I didn't know. So I'm hoping the things happen when I'm with you so you can help me figure out what the heck. Remember my body went black and all that shit. Wow.
Yeah. It will be beautiful. It'll be really exciting, I think.
Well, you've been talking lately about going, feeling it and not escaping, because I use Facebook. I see it. I know that I don't want to be with myself. I know that the universe did this on purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't me that did this. When I found out it was silent for 10 days, I messaged you. I was like, So,
I know on the website it just says there will be some silence.
it did not say 10 days. And then you say, we're going to ease you into it, though. Okay, so everybody here knows how much I talk, and they're all like, "You can't do it."
You can walk up to the village and speak to the villagers in Spanish.
Well, Michelle and I are going to be roommates, so we're going to have to we're going to have to make a pact to zip, because you don't want us talking even when we're
No, but
away.
you could, if you really need to, you can go off site and talk. But when I did it a few years ago with Naho, she was at my retreat and we were sharing a room, and every time the silence started, we'd just get uncontrollable giggles. It was just like, we know we have to be silent now, and it was just so unbearably funny. And then like it's totally dead silence, and you just hear me and Naho like.
I can see me doing that. Don't kill me.
Laughter's okay though, and when you're in the talks, you can talk. I mean, there's going to be like 5 hours of talks a day, or 6 hours of talks. Normally, I advertise 4 just so if I don't feel like it, I don't do 6. But normally it's about 6. Normally each session goes on more, but I don't advertise that because if I feel like a break, I'm like, okay, that's it now.
Right. Okay. So, so there's a special place that we're going to meet.
Yeah. Yeah. So there'll be like a talks room, and then in the talks room, and what I'll do is I'll make everybody talk. Like I'll keep checking in with people, and so everyone will talk. So yeah.
Oh. How many of us are there?
I think there's about 25 for the first week, and then maybe 23 for the second week, or 22 for the second week.
Wow,
There was more, but just a couple of days ago, cancelled. So we've gone down. But it's a nice amount for this retreat centre. I think 25 is like, I think a good amount.
Okay.
So they've just extended though, actually, so it might be different.
Okay. So you have no other pointers for us? We're bringing the euros.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting them
another way to get euros out, because it's so complicated at the moment for all of us, because the guy is English that owns a retreat centre, and none of us want to pay in pounds, so I don't want to pay him. So that's why I want you, because I don't want to pay him, because I'm going to have to pay him through pounds, and pounds has crashed in euros. It's a disaster for me. So this is why it's so complicated, because none of us want to get pounds in our bank.
So what should I do?
No, euros is great. Euros is great, but the part of the reason why I don't want people to pay me his amount, like the retreat centre's amount, is because I don't. If you guys pay me in pounds and then I pay in euros, it's disaster for me.
You get. Oh, I see.
I lose.
Just with us.
Yeah.
I have to bring my 750 euros, but it's costing me 853.
Yeah. This is constant. It's so crazy. But I've heard of this new thing, and my friend got me interested in this new thing called digital banking. And in digital banking, you can transfer for free, but it's just not very popular at the moment. So people, the one that I've got some digital money in is called Bitcoin, but it's just so unpopular. But it's terrible what the banks do, because I just don't.
I could sign up for this bank.
But the thing is I doubt the retreat centre accept Bitcoin yet, because it's quite small. So it has to be a few more years. But I've begun to accept Bitcoin, because I just really disagree with the amount that banks charge for everything, and they keep your money for all this period and then invest it and make money on it, and then huge. Like every time I transfer into Europe, I get charged a basic fee of £30, and then I get charged a percentage on the exchange. It's like,
yeah, we have to pay shipping. My bank's not charging us for getting euros, just for the shipping of them.
Yeah, you might have been better actually, although I don't know, you most probably researched it, but I find the best way is always to take cash out when I arrive in a place by the cash machine. That's the best way. Even though they still charge you, I still find that the best exchange for me personally.
I brought my own cash there.
And if you bought your card, your debit card, and then took it out from a cash point, that's what, or credit card.
Out 750 euros?
I think you'd have to get 500 and then 500 or something. They won't let you take out more than 500 at a time. That's what my bank does. Yeah.
So I just got the euros for the retreat.
Yeah.
And then we could exchange with our debit card over there.
Yeah, that's what I do.
For the stuff that we need.
Yeah, just make sure that you've activated them before you go, so your banks know that you're going and they don't deactivate them because they think they've been stolen or something.
Right.
And credit card is often the cheapest way to go, like using your credit card to take out money and put in credit. You should just look into those different. Credit card is good for me actually, but also my debit card is the cheapest way for me to, particularly around Europe and in the US as well actually. But I always have to activate when I go, not to Europe, but to the US, I have to activate my cards.
I think I'm going to do that. I'm so glad I talked to you.
And actually, you know, sometimes buying on credit card, you don't get charged anything abroad. But obviously you get charged for fees by your credit card company, I think. I don't know what credit cards you have. But sometimes credit cards, and there's an insurance on it as well. Like, so you can just pay for your dinner with your credit card and then you don't get charged anything. I think that's what my parents use. I don't use my credit card so much because I'm not trustworthy with that. It's only for car rental. I'll end up getting myself huge fines. But I think that's maybe the best way.
Okay, I'm going to tell Michelle that we're going to be.
Yeah, it's just because it's just such a hard one. The exchange is so crazy that we all have these different currencies, and now. Yeah.
Instead of the same thing across the board. Yeah. Why wouldn't they do that across the world?
Yeah. What? It's because of all the investment companies. It's not to do with the general people. It's all the big companies that will lose money in it.
How they make their money. Exactly. Yeah. All about it. It really is all about money.
Yeah. I was watching this amazing documentary. I was going to post it on my Facebook page, and it was about prisons in America. It was really, really interesting. I'll post it on my Facebook page. I didn't finish watching the movie, that's why I never posted it. But it was all about, like, prisons is about economy. Like, we think that it's about catching crime, but it's so much about economy. But you watch it. I'll post it on there and watch it. I've forgotten the name of it. It's called 13th, I think. 13th. Okay. It's on Netflix. It's so crazy, like, how it all comes down to economy. We think that we on the everyday people think that it's so much more about, like, the way things work or the goodness for humanity, and then when you break everything down, you're like, oh, that comes down to economy as well.
Everything does.
It's funny. So when do you fly to Europe?
This coming Saturday. A week right now. A week from today, I'll be there.
Oh, nice. Sunday.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
She is too.
Have you ever been to Spain before?
No, I have not. But I want to show you something. Oh, it's raining, but look at that. Oh, it's wet.
Oh, we're losing connection. Oh, the trees are so beautiful. Are they maple trees? That's such lovely colours.
Yes. But they're all in full. She's going to see peak color when she gets here. She's never been to Maine, and we are in full. The trees look like candy.
Oh, they nice. And she's when's she coming, Michelle?
She'll be here Friday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very pretty. Yeah. So Spain is really different from America, but I feel more comfortable in Europe because I'm so much more used to it, whereas America seems a little bit more alien to me.
Yeah, because that's where you come from. But Spain has the palm trees and the water looks so beautiful. Yeah. Is it close to the water, the retreat?
The retreat center is about an hour from water, but the Malaga is close. It's right on the ocean, and Granada is maybe about an hour as well from the ocean. But you'll love Granada. It's so cute.
That's where. Okay, yeah, because we're landing in Malaga.
Yeah.
Right. Which is, I think that's where we're staying. We want a couple of days before the retreat.
Yeah.
So we can check things out.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's so cute. It's so cute, Spain. Especially when you go to the old towns, like the old bits. Malaga, the bits that I've never been to the old town of Malaga. I don't even know if there is one. So I've never seen like the really oldie bits there. But as soon as you go to the towns or the villages around, it's really beautiful. There's another one that I would recommend if you haven't booked. There's another one that's near Malaga, like a little town that's called Nidra or something. Nidra.
Nidra?
Something like that. Niji or Nija or something.
Okay.
But you can write to me after and ask the name, and I'll look it up and send it to you. My aunt lives there.
Oh,
it's very cute. I know.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of people in Europe and England have holiday homes in that bit of Spain. It's very.
Oh, is it a ritzy high end place?
Some of it is. Some of the areas are really high end. Like that area, I think is quite high end, and then some of them are like the sort of like beer. What's it called? Like I forget the name. Beer seeking English people, which you don't want to be around so much.
Beer seeking.
They're the sort of like a bit. They drink lots of alcohol and get drunk and pass out on the beach, and all the English people are ashamed of them and like.
Okay.
But yeah, there's loads of English people in southern Spain.
So we'll be talking pretty much English. We won't have to worry about getting around.
Yeah. You'll mostly be able to speak English. Some of the Spanish might struggle a little, but most of the Spanish speak English. Yeah. Especially in the tourist areas. But download Google Translate on your phone or what phone do you have?
iPhone 6.
iPhone 6. So download iTranslate or Google Translate, but make sure you download one that goes offline so you can use it to translate.
Right, because I don't want to use... right, okay.
So download one that comes offline. You have to pay, I think, for that, but not that much. A couple of euros.
It's a lot better than going online.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes you just get stuck, and so I always have it just in case. But Spain's quite good. France is terrible. I'm always getting stuck, so I always use it.
Okay. Google.
That's so exciting!
No, I can't imagine. Being in after 3 years of talking with you through this screen, face to face. I don't know. I can't even fathom.
That would be so funny. And in Spain as well. Nice. Oh, nice, Laurie. And have a lovely flight. How many flights do you have to take?
2. Just 2. We're just going from Maine to New York. And then New York is straight shot.
Oh, to Malaga.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, we lucked out. It was only $718.
Wow, return.
Can't even go from Maine to California for that.
Wow.
That's why I couldn't pass it up.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow.
I could not say no. Because 2 weeks at a place talking with you in Spain for $850, and they're going to feed me?
Yeah.
All Aryan food. I can't do anything like that here in the United States. I'm going to Spain.
Yeah.
It was no brainer. It was like
it's part of the reason why I stay in the southern countries, because I couldn't do that in England. I couldn't do that in France. Although I've just found a really good retreat centre that's owned by the government in France and makes it really cheap because the government support it to make it cheap for French people.
so. And you'll be
So I will do that next year. But part of the reason why I go to Spain and Greece and why I went to Romania is because it's so much cheaper and it's warm and it's really beautiful, and they can offer so much better. And one thing that I because of my political views a little bit, I have a dislike when it's just so expensive for seekers to go and do things all the time. Like, because when I was learning non-duality, I was so lucky, and like Ramesh, you could pay by donation, like, and I just so many of the speakers were so generous to me. So I try to keep it quite low priced or have different varieties of price so everybody can join. Like, that's part of the reason why I'm going to try going to India every year, is because then people can come every day, and it's by donation, so everyone can.
Oh, so it's not just a group of people. It's people coming in and out, different
Yeah,
No.
this in India, yeah. And then it means, and they can pay by donation, so they can pay as little as much as they like, and then they can have it for a long period of time, because sometimes it is just hearing it again and again and again and being in that energy.
Hey,
So,
I know. That's exactly what's happened for
yeah,
me.
yeah,
But there's still, like the guy that you talked to Wednesday, he's, it's the body thing, right? It's the body thing that's just not connected, I think. The-
What do you mean?
like you said, I understand it here
Yeah,
clearly, and I seem to be helping others. They're reaching out to me left and right. I'm helping a lot of people. It's the love that I'm sharing, basically. That's all it is. And but the I don't. There's something that's not. It's not there. I guess I don't know.
yeah,
That's a thought,
yeah,
but it's like the whole non-dual reality of you not being there and this being a dream. That's not lived or recognized. I
yeah,
know I'm more in the moment.
yeah,
Definitely, I'm not projecting, or the thoughts still come about the future, but they're not dragging me down with it. I
yeah,
don't get body sweats and fear of the future anymore. But the whole non-dual thing about this not being real, that's not being lived. I
yeah,
haven't seen that. You
yeah,
know, your opening in Bali
yeah,
where I saw her and she was beautiful. I've had none of that.
yeah. And that happens when it happens. Like, often what happens first of all is the person becomes really relaxed, or the person really begins to understand itself, and then these openings happen. But I wouldn't even think about it too much, because otherwise it just becomes a new thing
Well,
that
okay.
exists out there.
So the only time I think about it is when I listen to a non-dual video. It's true. Other than that, I don't think about it. It brings me right back every time I listen to you talk, or somebody calling in saying that they're okay. So that's the mind comparing
Yeah,
and
yeah,
saying you don't get it and they do.
yeah. And so just go into that energy, because that's all it is. It's like, so when that happens, when you're listening to me or when somebody calls in, go into what you actually feel and see, and try to see what stories want to be told about Laurie being there or not being there. Just examine it and see it, everything as an opening, like everything is guiding you home. So it's like when you react, that's the thing that's saying, okay, there's still something that's illusory here. And it's not really about that you've got to see it or you've got to have the non-dual realization. It's just seeing what's not true in this moment. So what's not true is that there's somebody in your body, there's a Laurie sitting there that hasn't got it, and there's somebody out here that has got it. This is based on comparison and thoughts, and this isn't true. And the more that the not true is exposed, the more that it's seen as it is, which is simply this happening, and this isn't somebody's experience. This isn't a located experience. This is everything experiencing itself. But don't look for that, because if you look for that, you'll suffer. It's like you trying to look for it.
Yes.
Just see when the alarm bells go off as to what the body sees as not true. You know, when that energy comes up of, what are they talking about? And everybody has so many different experiences. Somebody was telling me the other day about one of their experiences, and I've never had an experience like that. They were talking about seeing it as hologram and light. It was like in front of them, and I was like, wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, some of the experiences are like, why did, yeah, I guess it's all to show you what's real and what's
That's
not.
exactly it. Every time you suffer or that suffering energy comes, it's just saying there is an illusion here. There is a false thought. There's something out of line with reality. And that's what it is. It's like a Tibetan bell. Like, so when the energy comes, it's like, the bells that like guiding you home.
What Byron Katie taught us is it's your temple bell. The minute your stomach clenches or you feel that reaction in your body, that's your temple bell to look, to stop.
And it took me a long time to realize that, because I always wanted to stay on the top surf story. And it took a good friend of mine pointing out many times. Sorry, I have to keep kicking the computer, but Ilango keeps calling, and every time he calls, it covers your face. Suddenly I'm talking to
I
Ilango.
don't see you doing anything. I mean, I saw you move your hand, but it didn't.
I have to keep moving it. Every time he calls, I have to click to see you again. It's like, Ilango! So,
I got an image.
yeah. And he goes, it always is really funny because the way Skype works is it always puts it directly on top of the person that's speaking when it calls. So wherever I put your face, because I've got your face in a little box, it still pops up there. Okay, so what was I saying? I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh my God, you are so me. I do the same thing. Everybody says I'm getting Alzheimer's.
But there was something I was just about to say.
Shit. And you think I'm going to pull it back?
Oh yeah, no, I've got it. So I get it. So I was saying it took me years. I had a friend that used to point out to me. So we used to go walking every day, and what would happen was he would say something that would annoy me, and my stomach would clench, but I wasn't conscious of that. Even though it happened, and knowingness knew it, the Lisa character wasn't conscious of it. So then the Lisa character would pretend to not be annoyed by him. So she would pretend to be fine with it, but she wasn't even conscious she was doing this. She would just be on the surface. It would be like he'd say something and I'd be like, poof. And then I'd be like, it's fine. Wow, that's so amazing what you're saying. And he was quite aware, so he would say, no, it's not. I've pissed you off now. And I'd be like, no. And I remember, like, at first when he used to point it out, I would really try and fight it. It was like the mind wanted to stay in the nice story on the surface. No, you haven't upset me. And then eventually, after a few times of him insisting that I was annoyed, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm fucking pissed off. You're a fucking arse and I hate you.
What a blessing he was for you.
Yeah. And it was like I would attempt, and it would day after day would go walking, and this was quite a repetitive pattern, but like day after day of doing that, it would be like I just stopped fighting it. And that's why I keep saying to people, just go deeper, because eventually it comes down to, because underneath me thinking I was an asshole, it's like he said something that made me feel not enough, and so therefore then I went into you're an asshole. Or he said something I was afraid of, and I'm like, you're an asshole. It's always the same things. And then we try to live in the top story of, no, I really love you. You're so beautiful. No, I love it. This is amazing. And it's so fake. And this is where we suffer. And so when the kick happens, it's like, ding, 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 ding.
I have a man in my life on Facebook, and he, for some reason, he is able, whenever he says something, like he said something about my good friends. I have some friends that are overweight compared to me. I'm smaller than a lot of people in the United States, and it doesn't friggin' matter. And he called them porkers to my face on the phone, and that killed me. And I just said to him, oh boy, you are challenging me right now. And I got to figure out that he's not defining them. It was my judgment of him judging them.
Yeah.
That was huge for me.
Yeah.
To get through that.
Yeah.
And
but then what's really amazing is when you go past that. So when you see that every kick in your stomach is your projection and your suffering, then that can fall away. And then he calls your friends a porker, and you can be like, F off, you bastard, calling them a porker. Look at you, your tummy hanging over. So then you can call it that, but you call it without the kick, because it's not that then you become like really passive and allow like people being asses, but it's like it happens without you being like that kick, that like somebody's mortally offended you. Yeah, and then you try to feel that, or you try to help that. So then you can reply to him in an innocent way, and that innocent way might be feisty, might be like, oh come on, you could whatever it is.
You know what I said to him? I said, the reason you would judge them as porkers is because you're judging yourself as one.
Yeah.
And then he admitted, yeah, I am 20 pounds overweight ever since I moved here.
Yeah. And then and that's exactly it. And then it doesn't give that energy. Like, you're not attacking them to put them down. You're just replying to them as like in an innocent way, and then that changes the energy of everything. But when it offends you and you take it personally, then you want to hurt them and you want to put them down and make yourself feel better. It's like your own game.
Yeah.
It's so funny the way the self works. It's just layers and layers of deception. It's all about being honest.
And it all goes back to that bottom line defense of not being worthy.
Yeah, always.
It always comes back to that. It's always defending because it doesn't believe it's worthy.
Yeah. And then also to be afraid as well, but they're kind of similar. The fear and not being worthy. They're really
fear
similar.
of not being worthy. Exactly. Yeah. Oh.
It's exciting, and now you're going to have 14 days of being hammered with this. I'm relentless.
He says that you're going to come back as a monk. I said, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea.
And is Peter enjoying not working? Or is he still feeling nervous about it? Still nervous? Yeah. It's understandable after working for a company so long, And I can also imagine that he feels betrayed as well.
Definitely. But somebody brought it to my attention that it wasn't, betrayed by the higher ups but the customers and the workers, the guys that worked for him, he worked at a Volvo dealership. He gave the guys the work. They are coming out. They're telling him they miss him. They were devastated when he left. Devastated. It was obvious. He went around shaking all their hands and he was fighting back tears, and they were all like, "What the?" So those are the people that make the company, not the higher ups.
Yeah.
So that just changed everything, really.
Oh,
so the identity was wrapped up in being a provider for me, the thoughts are, we're going to be homeless, we're going to be on the streets. I'm like, I'm still going to Spain. Oh boy. It's all hitting the fan right now.
Yeah. But it's great, juicy stuff.
It is real juicy stuff. Real juicy. I just keep saying you can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. It's just, what the frick? It's perfection. I see the perfection in it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right.
Nice to speak with Laurie. And maybe next time I speak with you will be in Spain, more than likely. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Bye. Oops. Quickly. Before I show everybody's sources. I have to keep sitting. There you go. Are we still on air? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's see what else have we got. Hey Phyllis. Will I share videos from India? Yeah, I'll try to get some recordings of videos. Hey, Ilango.
Hello, thanks for calling.
That's okay. if you put your video on Ilango, people will be able to see you. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Nice.
You're able to see me
Yes, I can see you.
now?
Very well. Yes, thank you, Ilango. Everyone else saw that as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not able to. Okay, fine.
You can see me? You should be able to see me.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Now I'm trying to double with. Are we on?
Yes, we're on. Everything is working.
Okay.
I might need to just turn you down a little bit. Just speak a bit.
Yeah, yes. Hello. Check
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, just turn you down a little.
Hello.
Perfect. Just one more. Okay.
Hello. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is okay?
Yeah. If you've got headphones, that would be better, I think. Oops.
Yeah, I get. You want me to wear the headphones?
Yeah, if you have headphones, that would be better.
Yeah.
Oops.
Just a second. Yes, now?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. Nice.
The echo's gone?
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad, but it's just in case it comes, I can't necessarily tell. It sort of gets echoey in the computer, and it's only the audience that can tell. So it's better if we do use headphones.
1 second. How do I tone down your volume? I don't know.
I think you can maybe do it on your computer.
Yeah. 1 second. You able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. And can you hear me? Or am I still very loud?
Yeah. That's okay. Now it's okay.
Okay, nice.
My volume is okay?
Yeah. You're not
Thanks for
blasting
calling.
the speakers.
Pardon?
You're not blasting the speakers.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. This is my opportunity in the last 53 years since I was born to ask the universe as to why am I here? It's mysterious. Who else to ask? I mean, my parents can't tell me. My teachers can't tell me. Those I dabble in spirituality can't tell me. Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, the entity I'm just talking to is the only possible source from which I can get this answer. But when I spoke to you, when I spoke to you about in 2014, I was Skyping, and you just put me down saying the whys and the hows can't be answered. But the lease of 2015 and 2016, there has been a sort of a shift where, like, you have, from my point of view, diluted the non-duality. In the sense, you have now come down to, what do you say, therapy sort of, and you're answering common questions. So my question is now,
Common questions.
why is this common questions in the sense, I mean, there was a time where you were like, I mean, the non-duality part was, this is it, baby.
Yeah.
Nobody could talk anything to you.
This is
Now
it,
there
baby.
appears to be now there appears to be a slight shift where, you know, like we can ask you more questions.
Yeah.
And I was actually asking you a couple of weeks ago, I mean, why is there a disparity? And you said very rightly, this is what's happening now.
Yeah.
So in that flow of things, and now I am just re-asking this question as to, why am I put into this universe?
The reason that you're put in this universe is an instrument for life to see itself through. Life is wanting to experience itself. Beingness, nothing, is wanting to experience itself. So this is a way of it being able to experience.
I mean, that's not a very digestible answer.
Yeah, it becomes really apparent as you begin to see this vast stillness, which is looking through these eyes and looking through these bodies at a world that isn't separate from the world and isn't separate from anything it sees. There is an absolute stillness experiencing itself, and it can't think, it can't feel, so it has to produce everything in order to experience itself. Otherwise it wouldn't be able to know anything.
But then we say this infinity, this God principle is three things: omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. It's powerful, it's infinite, and then it comes into this body and becomes so weak, where even for small things it starts fearing everything. And why is this dichotomy? Is this the way the nature works?
Sorry, Khaleesi's getting freaked out by the flies. She's so funny. She's going to jump on me in a minute because the fly keeps coming towards me. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, this God principle is so infinite and powerful, and you say it's coming into this body to experience itself. Is it playing with itself like a video game?
It's using this in order to experience itself. So
why can't it?
It can't experience itself in rest. It has to create in order to experience itself. And so it's now having a human experience. It's now silently looking through the eyes of Ilango. Because God, beingness, it doesn't have the ability to think or see or understand, so it creates all of these things in its painting.
You mean to say the creator cannot think, doesn't have intelligence? It's supposed to be the most intelligent thing in this universe.
Intelligence is in this world. It's the most creative, powerful force there is. But intelligence is something that exists in this world, so you can't describe the creator as that. It's a quality of the creator in the dream, but it's not actually able to describe that which creates. That which describes is eternity, it's vastness, it's nothing found in this world. It can't experience itself unless it creates.
Is there an answer to the why then? The same answer.
Yeah,
why is it doing this?
The reason that you ask why is not actually because you want to know an answer. It's because you've moved out of yourself as that stillness. When you're in that stillness, the why is irrelevant.
Correct.
Yeah. Because when you've moved out of that stillness, you've become a subject in relationship to an object, and that becomes scary. And so therefore you seek to not feel scared in the subject-object world, and it never works.
I think you're on the target, yes. So, how do we get back into the stillness?
The stillness
beyond the subject
is what's always here. And it's happening, Ilango, by listening to these talks, by this exploration of non-duality. Like, the stillness is there. Like, what looks out of Ilango's eyes, what hears, what feels, is the stillness. It's not separate from that it sees, or that it hears, or that it touches, but it seems that way. The stillness, God, is there, ever present. It never moved. Presence never moved.
So actually, as you have been telling so many times, reiterating this fact that it's actually God speaking to each other now.
Yeah. The looking and the looked at are the same thing, and it's absolutely still and not in movement.
Yeah, but that stillness in me and the subject-object in me is there, correct?
It's not actually in you, the stillness. You are in the stillness.
Okay, I am in the stillness. This personality is in the stillness.
Yeah.
The stillness created everything.
Yeah.
And through this personality, the stillness is asking this question for the answer which it knows.
Yeah.
Correct.
It doesn't know
Why is it
intellectually.
Oh.
Because
it knows it energetically.
No, it doesn't think. It doesn't have any quality, so it doesn't reject Ilango going into the dream and believing that he's something in the dream, because it doesn't reject that. Just imagine that the board of a projector that a film's projected on. It doesn't matter anything it doesn't mind anything the characters do. It doesn't reject anything the characters do.
It created the characters.
It creates the characters, but it can't
It creates
suffer.
Romeo.
Stillness can't suffer. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Can we say that?
Yeah.
Can we say that it's like it's like a movie. It's a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
It is the screenplay writer. It's the director, and it's created these It's created these characters, and it makes these characters ask this question.
Yeah.
It creates a character called Ilango. Then it creates another character called Lisa, who appears in the role of teacher. And Ilango from India strikes a question. It's all part of the play.
Yeah.
Why is it doing that? That's what I'm asking.
Well,
In planet,
because
one second,
in
planet Earth.
But the thing is the reason that you're asking why it does that is because you want to be able to get out of it and think of a way to get out of it. But
correct.
But the thing is it's so complicated, because think of everything else that it's created in order for this to be created. It's like one thing to another to another. So it's like an infinite effect of things that you can't really say why is it doing it. But the important part for Ilango is to see how he uses these concepts to try to avoid what's actually happening, and there has to be a genuineness with what's actually happening. So when there's a fear coming up, seeing that there's a wanting to find solution in a story, there's wanting to understand something, there's wanting to not be confused, and keep repetitively seeing that's the functioning of the person. It feels agitation, even though it might be excited, because that agitation might be an excitement, like, oh, I'm excited to think about this, but underneath there's an agitation of fear, and then it creates excitement of I'm just about to get the answer, or she knows the answer, or this person knows the answer, and it creates grand stories about getting enlightened, and then it's more pleasurable, so then it's like picked into more pleasure. But underneath that, the reason that it wants to not be confused is because of fear, and there's no way out of confusion in more knowledge.
But does Lisa, who just now said that it is very complicated, know the answer?
To what?
To the question I'm asking as to why this creator is, why, this is what I wanted to ask. See, in Hollywood there is a movie, there is a screenplay writer, there is a director, and the director has created a movie, and then the movie is watched.
So this is life.
But in the movie, the characters can't ask questions, in the sense like within the movie, I mean, there is no consciousness in that character. It's a celluloid creature. Whereas we are, more than that, and we ask the questions, and this is being done by the creator. Every word I speak and every response that you make has already been written, not in the past, but it's happening. And we are robots playing out the part. Is this that we are in a movie in 3-dimension or 4-dimension space-time?
Yeah.
Whereas a Hollywood movie is in 2-dimension on a screen.
Yeah. This is like a movie.
We are in a movie.
And we believe that we're an object in the movie, and that's why we suffer. But the reason that life's done it is become aware of itself. By falling asleep and believing it's an object in the dream, it then wakes back up to the dream.
Why is it doing it? It's playing with itself, is it? Because in Hindu mythology, that's what they say, ultimately it's a leela, it's a play.
Well, it's not that it's playing itself, it's just that if humanity completely wakes up, then that means that life has now become self-aware of itself as beingness, not as an individual human. So it's created a human that's aware of the body, and then it's like life becomes self-aware in a way. The ultimate, God becomes self-aware. It creates a way in order to know itself.
Are you telling me that God is so dumb not to know itself and wants to create a human being to know itself?
It's not that it's dumb or not dumb. That exists in this world. It's not either.
Then what is it?
It's nothing found in this world. It's nothing describable. It's the stillness that's knowing. It's a knowing energy. It's way beyond our ability to think about it. We can't think about it. It just is there.
No. The normal human being cannot think about it. But those who are enlightened, those whose separation from this unity has happened, like you, would be the closest that we can go to that dimension where, it's like through you we are getting a glimpse of the infinite. Because what's happening in you is 100% clarity. The mind is not coming and creating this illusion of separateness. Separateness in you has gone. The closest that we can get to knowing that mystery is through you, because you are it. You are experiencing the force without illusion,
but that's
without the sense of separation.
That's a lot of stories. You're not going to find yourself in stories. You're going to find yourself in this moment, that which knows those stories which are appearing.
Meaning?
Well, that which that knows those stories that appear about Lisa and not illusion, and I forget what you say. That knowing is the freedom, that beingness which you could say is behind, but ultimately it's not located, it's not behind. You could say that the beingness that knows that thought appears is the freedom, nothing which appears in the dream, so no thought which moves in the dream. So whether you say that this or that, or that whatever story you retell is just a story, the freedom is prior to that.
So what is the message as a teacher you're giving to those who are following you?
I don't
The last
even
35
know.
years, the last 10 years, before Bali and after Bali, you were seeking. I mean, we have spoken many times about this. You were seeking, you went to Ramesh, many teachers, and was there something which you can tell us?
About
Reaching a state that you have reached, where the sense of separateness falls, where the personality is sort of gone, where the suffering ends. And that's it. Ultimately, this body entity wants infinite pleasure. And short of that, the second thing it wants is end of suffering. So I would opt for end of suffering. That's what this body wants. That's why it's asking all these questions about enlightenment.
Then just keep being honest and genuine with the actual experience.
Yeah.
And it's not ultimately you that does that, but the deconstruction allows it to just be more and more genuine to what's actually happening. Keep exploring what's underneath what you think is actually true.
Is there any way to corrupt this individual file that every one of us have? I am so and so, the collapse of the I.
It happens.
Apart from,
it happens.
It cannot be made to happen.
There's not someone there that could individually make it happen. It's life just happening.
But life is making this happen.
Yeah. But we can't understand
but
life. It seems to work through a process which is logical, but it's just not a valid road of thinking to go down there and try to understand it. Just let it unfold.
Correct. But a lot of people in spirituality, there have been a lot of instances where for spiritual teachers or the gurus have, for example, Zen stories, or even recently, like Papaji, Gangaji, they meet a guru and, snap. The magic happens. What's your comment on that? Where now, as of now, there have been so many people, spiritual teachers who have met their gurus, and then the magic happens. What's your opinion on that? What do you say there?
That can happen, yeah.
That can also happen.
Yeah.
Has anybody who has met you, has it happened? Like, for example, Rama?
I don't pay attention to that. Like, I don't pay attention. Even if somebody told me it had happened while they met me, I'd be like, they might be lying. Like, I just don't give it attention. So people tell me all types of stories. You never know what somebody's agenda is. Just come and go, come and go.
So you're telling that be honest with your whatever's coming up.
Yeah.
But that being honest with whatever coming up is also destined, right?
Yes.
There is no free will.
No, it's a happening. But the way that it can happen is that I tell you that you've got a fly on your head, then suddenly you become aware of the fly and remove the fly. It happens. But it's nobody doing it.
This is another question I'd want.
The rain.
Yeah, this is another. Yeah.
Just like the rain falls and then the water, the trees and the plants are fed.
How do you sort of come to agreement with these two different facts, that one side there is no free will, and the second side you say there is a fly on my head and I tap it?
Yeah.
There appears to be a cause effect in a space-time world in physics.
Yeah.
In space and time, there is a cause and an effect.
Yeah.
Which appears to, for example, if you plant a mango seed, the mango tree grows.
Yeah.
Coconut tree doesn't grow.
Yeah.
There is a cause and effect which we see.
Yeah.
But then we see there is no free will. Mm-hmm. Everything happens by itself. How do you reconcile with these two contrasting facts? They're totally opposite.
Yeah. I just
there
think
is no free
functioning. It's like, just as like I train Khaleesi, and she has the ability to choose between two different things, like chicken, or if I offer a duck, she looks and She smells both and she has the ability to choose, and the brain updates. It's like a interactive robot. I can also speak to Siri on my phone. Watch. I can also speak
Siri?
to Siri is on my phone. He's like I don't know what he is. He's like a OS, I think. Hey Siri.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, so hang on, I can say.
You're having iPhone?
What are you, Siri? Oh, I have to hold him down. What are you, Siri?
I'm Siri, but I don't like talking about myself.
So it looks like this. Do you choose, Siri?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't answer that.
Do you have free will, Siri?
This is about you, not me.
Can you pull up a website on dogs for me?
Here's what I found on the website. Can you put up a website on dogs for me?
You see? So he can do things on command, but it's a robot, just like us. So if I tell
Are we
you,
robots?
yeah. So
Are we
if
robots?
Yes, the body mind is a robot. Like, so if I say to you, but they haven't quite done it with computers yet, but they're going to do it where a computer can evolve. So if you tell the computer you got that wrong, Siri, actually you should do it like this, it can evolve and change, and that's what we can do. We can evolve and adapt and change. It's amazing what life has created. It's really amazing, these instruments, but we're going through a very dark period as humans because we've changed so much in the last 100 years, which is very painful to us, and then also we're going through a collective awakening, and it's not very hard to awaken, but it's very painful awakening. So I mean, like, the suffering point which humans are getting to is really, really dark, because what's happened is our thinking is going very fast. We're constantly being stimulation all the time, and even though we've got lots of things and we're a lot safer than we've ever been, we're totally focused on the individual, and it's making us very, very dark as individuals. There's increase in depression. Most people that you meet aren't very happy, but they're trying to be happy. And so it's going to get worse, and there has to be a mass shift in consciousness. But it will happen. It's life's way of being aware in the dream.
Just prior to your Bali experience, you said, there was a shift where a lot of sort of dramatic things happened. You just cut off from the entire world.
Yeah.
Where like there's no contact with anything. Is there any lesson that we can learn from that? I remember you telling somewhere or writing somewhere, even your parents never knew where you were, and you had very little money. And is there a lesson that we can sort of imbibe?
Maybe just the courageousness that it takes to constantly step out of our cages. Just like stepping out of our cages and not doing the path that everybody else travels, like traveling the own path, like of that body-mind mechanism. We want to often find a guru, we want to often find a way, because that makes us feel safer, and to really keep challenging what the illusion is, not to just keep following pleasure and avoiding pain.
So courage was that word.
Yeah, that's what came up now.
Was there anything else apart from that? Not traveling the path anybody has traveled, to get the courage to...
Just the determination to see through the illusion. Like not being defeated by the victim.
Illusion
of the self. Even if the victimhood came up, there was a constant conviction that wasn't who I was. And tattoo it on your body, like, no, I shouldn't say that, everyone's going to sue me after they get a tattoo, but this is what you think isn't the reality, or write it, on your hand every day. Like, it's just not true. And we get lost for hours into our illusions.
Now, prior to Bali and after Bali, you were Lisa Cairns.
Yeah.
After Bali, who are you? You're not Lisa Cairns?
Just what's happening.
Wow. This moment.
Yeah, what's happening.
not this body, not this name.
No, but the body still, this body still, I like to say this again and again because I don't want anyone to think I'm perfect, but this body still gets trapped in karma sometimes. So this body still does its old patterns sometimes of being someone. So it's not that it gets pulled into a story as such, there's not someone that gets pulled into a story, but it can go into that old typical reaction. But it's not belonging to anyone. And I think this can take years or maybe lifetime for the body to adjust because it's such a huge shift. So sometimes somebody behaves a certain way and the old typical Lisa way, and I don't know if that will ever go, will respond, but it doesn't belong to someone anymore. And so therefore it just goes through. And I get a sense over the years, these things get less and less and less, like the body lets go of that Lisa that was before, more and more and more. But I don't.
Do you worry? What's going to happen tomorrow, the next week?
Very little, but sometimes, worry can come, especially more so about mundane things like Khaleesi. I'm training Khaleesi at the moment to stay at the side of the road when a car passes us so she doesn't have to wear her leash, because I like cycling in the back roads and you don't see a car for half an hour, but then a car can come really fast. So I'm trying to recondition her to always go to the side as soon as she hears the sound of the car. But there's got to be the experimental time when I let her off the lead and I let her do that. And recently she's been amazing. Every time she hears a car, she's going to the side by herself. But sometimes, I hear the car and I'm like, fuck, where's Khaleesi? And then I'm running, my body's quickly cycling to where she is. And one of my things that I'll do when the car comes really fast and she's off the lead is I'll just ride into the middle of the road so the car has to brake so she doesn't get flattened, because she's quite small, they might not see her. So those sorts of things come.
Relationships?
I don't really have very many relationships at the moment.
Do you have sadness, anxiety?
Yeah, sadness can come.
Common things that we have.
Yeah. Sadness, all emotions can come.
But you said end of suffering.
End of suffering, but you take sadness to be suffering, and that's not what suffering is. And I get the sense that over the years, as this has happened for longer and longer, that everything begins to balance out and the character begins to become more and more calm. But all types of emotions, I can get really angry as well, especially if I'm around a seeker for a long period of time. I'm sorry, but it can be really annoying being around somebody that's constantly wanting something from you. I don't know if if you're in that situation very much, like maybe a family member that wants a lot from you. So every so often I engage a lot with a seeker and let them into my life, and then it can be a bit annoying, to be honest. And I get grumpy. I'm like, oh, F off with your questions. Because it's like an energy of always wanting to talk about the same thing, and the energy of always wanting something from you. Always looking at everything as a strategy. And their energy is never relaxed. And so also in their energy it can be a bit annoying, because we're all empathy characters. Then when you look at them, you're going to feel what they're feeling in some form of a way. Some people have more empathy than others, but you're going to mirror back what they're feeling. So yeah, all types of different things. I sometimes think when I spend too much time around somebody asking, wanting freedom, that I become a little bit like the grumpy Yuji Krishnamurti of shut up, shut up. I'll literally, if I'm around someone for a long period, I'll walk into the room and I'll be like, I'm not answering anything now. Nothing, no talking. You can see that, but just one more question. I'm like, no. Sit down, shut up. And you can see they're waiting. Like
Khaleesi.
Yeah. Khaleesi's actually not like that. She's really mellow dog. Sometimes in the morning when she needs to go poo pee pee, she's like, woo. But I don't find that irritating. It's a totally different energy, because she's not seeking. Even though she's wanting to go pee pee and poo poo, she's not seeking to fulfill herself. Seeking to fulfill yourself is a total different way of being. It's such a different way of being. So I had a friend recently who always feels strangulated when he spends too much time with people. When they spend too much time with people, so they always feel this sense of like, oh, like it's not all the time, but it's sort of, they always feel a little bit like there's a weight on their back. And then they express that when they spent time with me, they didn't feel that. And I was trying to explain to them that's the difference, because I want nothing from them. They don't add to me at all. It doesn't make a difference if they're there or not. They can be pleasurable and I can enjoy them, but there's no energy to take from them. The seeker is always trying to take from someone or always trying to reject. So from people that it doesn't see as any benefit to itself, it rejects them. It's like disgusted by that doesn't give anything to them. And then it sees someone that can give to them and it's like, whoop, 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 keep trying to take. And I just don't have that energy. But when somebody's around me constantly doing that, I can be very fierce. Like, it's 2 hours on Ustream, you see me, and you see that I can get grumpy sometimes, but I'm quite happy to do this, but I can't do this 24/7. Like, I respect those teachers that live in communities, and because when you're seeking and when you're somebody, and this is why relationships never work, because you're always trying to fulfill yourself by the other person, and you can't do that. Happiness never comes from the external. This is why Khaleesi is such bliss, because neither of us are trying to fulfill each other from each other.
1 second. You're telling two things. One is seeking for fulfillment.
Yeah.
And the second is seeking in relationships. Now, the first question of seeking for fulfillment, when I am talking to you seeking, earlier, prior to meeting you, my thought of enlightenment was like, something like Osho. He's in Hollywood robes and he's got 93 Rolls Royces and, everything at the snap of a finger, and probably angels are singing and there is Mozart. That's sort of an enlightenment like Raman Maharishi, where, the entire universe is under you. But after speaking with you, it's like sort of come down to the brass tacks of this is a human animal wanting infinite pleasure. In your book, you had asked a young man, what is it that you want? Infinite ecstasy, sexual ecstasy. And he backed out and said no. But I think every human being wants infinite ecstasy, short of which we want is end of suffering.
Actually, so when you don't want infinite ecstasy. If you imagined, like what I asked him was, do you want to orgasm all the time? And he said, no, just a couple of hours. We don't actually want infinite. That would be way too stressful for us. What we want is the end of suffering, which is seeking.
Yeah.
Seeking is the problem.
But you just told me that seeking means I want fulfillment from a teacher like you.
A teacher, or
what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Seeking. See, in spirituality, the seeking is only for spiritual, zeroing or cutting off the separation. So when I'm asking you the questions, am I expecting anything from you as a fulfillment to me? No.
Yeah, energetically you are underneath.
Fulfillment of what?
Basically,
of this question.
No, basically what you want is wholeness.
No, I want the suffering to end.
Yeah, and so you're trying to get that off me now. But it's very mild, it's not like a really strong one, it can get worse. And when it gets really bad, when I spend a lot of time with a seeker from day to day, when it gets really bad, if it goes through phases. So I'm becoming like an expert. So it goes through phases. So first of all, when people get to know me, what they'll do is they'll rave about me as the goddess. So first of all, I'll be the goddess, or I'll be grandeur, or I'll be the enlightened one and everything. And they'll want to do everything for me. Now I've learned, this is Lisa's karmas evening out. When people are wanting to do everything for you, this is not good for Lisa to agree to do it. So they'll try to do everything for you. So they'll want to carry everything for you. They'll want to buy you things. They'll do anything to be around you. And then a period of time will go along, and after they've done things for you, then they'll begin to want a bit more. So they'll want more questions, so you give them more answers. And then the energy comes and they're still not getting enlightened. And then they get a bit more frustrated. And then my energy, as they get more frustrated, will push them away. Because the more that they're seeking, the more energy will push that away. It will be like, no. So the more that I go no to them, so it goes through phases. So they've first of all done everything for me, and then when they begin to want more, and they're not getting it, and then I feel that, I begin to say no, they will then go into hatred of Lisa. And then Lisa will be everything wrong. She will be this wrong, that wrong, and every projection will go on her. Now, dependent on that person, whether they can come down from that or not, that's really dependent on the person. Some people at that point walk away and they disappear, and then some people come back, or some people can break and see that that's their projections. But at this point, it's very difficult, because at this point, they think Lisa is the worst person that there ever is, and they really dislike her, and because they haven't got what they want. So they have a full-on tantrum like a kid. And whether they can be humble, that's real, and come down from that and then see that is another thing. That will then go on for a period of time, and they'll go in and out of that. And then over time, they'll begin to see that that's their projections coming up when they don't get what they want, if they can stay with it. But through this time, I can tell you, as the speaker, it can be irritating, because you can imagine, like, one day they love you, then the next day they hate you, and they want to hurt you. So they'll do things to try and get your attention, all types of things to do your attention. And this is what Osho went through behind closed doors. I mean, if you look at Osho's story, this is the typical pattern, and I know it so well. And then normally the period of in and out will be a period that can be a long period, a short period, of going deeply into their stories. And when they go deeply into their story, the guru or the teacher, or whoever they see as the teacher or the parent figure, will become the most hated. They will be the absolute devil, and will get all that darkness thrown. And at this point, you want to make sure that they're not helping you with any of your website or your... This is over the years I've learnt. Then
you become a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, suddenly your website's gone. You're like, so.
Oh my God! Was that what do you call that? Inside job?
No, it wasn't actually. That was me actually. I destroyed that website by accident. I was trying to unlink it from something and I crashed it. But I'm just saying, like, when the rage comes, it's like the darkest rage, because they cannot get it fulfilled. So first of all, they're like, yes, this is going to be it, and then they'll be, oh. And it goes through, and it's so many funny games. So it will start with, oh, you just don't like me. You just don't like me. That's what the problem is. And it's like, and I'm like, I don't like you or not like you. It is as it is. That's you don't like me. And it's like, I know it so well. And then you'll start, it's neither of those. It is as it is. This body can find you pleasurable, but it can also find you painful. You're deluded. You're in the absolute. You da 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 da. And then eventually
so that happens like any other relationship.
Huh?
It happens like any other relationship.
Yeah. I don't know if that is like any other relationship, because
just what you just now told me, in any relationship you're seeking for a fulfillment. That's why every relationship fails.
Every relationship fails, but it's not like a romantic relationship, although it can have lots of romance in it. But it's not like in that level. But it is in the way the guru has to fail. The nicest thing that you can do for the guru is when you no longer see the guru as a guru. That's when it all collapses. When you see the guru as a guru, you'll love them and then hate them and then love them and then hate them, and you'll be going through your own heaven and hell. And then the speaker is just, it doesn't let it come on. I get annoyed and I can get really fierce when that energy goes, like when it gets thrown at me, I'll be really fierce back sometimes. Sometimes I'll just think, it doesn't matter. But it just isn't true. And I'll always, whenever anyone pukes on me, I'm always happy to speak with them again, as long as they can acknowledge their illusion. If they can't acknowledge their illusion, then I won't speak to them again, because it's pointless. It's just a waste of my energy speaking. But this is what goes on behind the scenes. This is what you guys don't see on Ustream. This is the
I have read the autobiography of Osho.
Yeah, this is when you're
hundreds of his books, and there's a lot of things happening at Oregon.
Yeah, and this is when you go behind the scenes. Like the last 4 or 5 years, every time I go and do talks, I'm normally staying with someone, and then when you stay with them, you get to know them more. So I meet so many people. I've withdrawn a little bit lately, a little bit more from doing it lately, because I just did so much. So I'm not doing it so much with people. I still do it with people. It's an endless thing, because as soon as I get to know someone, it's going to begin to happen, because they're going to start going into their illusions.
And you said in any relationship, you seek for fulfillment.
Yeah.
One second. Now, if you take me in my life or anybody's life,
Yeah.
It looks like you love that person for whatever they give you. I mean, what is the fulfillment part of it in a relationship? See, for example, you're a daughter with your parent.
Yeah.
You love them. I mean, are you seeking fulfillment with your parents?
Yeah, you're seeking all types of things with your parents. All types. You're seeking for them to be the mother. You're seeking for them to give you security. You're seeking for them to give you financial safety.
What do you mean fulfillment? That I can understand. But
fulfillment, like,
as a whole?
Yeah, you're wanting, so if you're seeking from your parents to be secure, then you're basically trying to avoid fear.
One second. When you have a relationship with someone, you love them. That's the best human relationship you can have with a human being, with an animal.
You don't love a human being when you're separate. When you're separate, it's about reciprocity.
Okay, one second. Now, from my childhood, I'll ask you a personal question. Like, there was a time where you loved your parents.
Before,
you love
not
your
when
friend.
you're identified.
But then what was that feeling towards a friend or a lover or a parent? What is the feeling you get?
That
feeling of, I don't know.
Yeah, that feeling is when you begin to collapse seeking, and then it produces bliss in the body, like really beautiful feelings in the body. So that's what true love is, and that's when you're not wanting something from them, and that's the true love. But most of the time we don't truly love. Most of the time it's about reciprocity as a seeker.
And if it doesn't happen, it collapses.
Huh?
The relationship collapses. If the reciprocity doesn't happen, the relationship collapses.
Yeah. So most of the time it's like, you make me feel secure and I'll do this for you, which is okay. Like, that can happen. Like, me and Khaleesi have a reciprocity relationship, but neither of us are trying to seek freedom out of that reciprocity. Often women go into relationships and they're expecting the man to be the one to provide for them or to make a home for them so they can have kids.
That's business.
Yeah.
That's a business enterprise.
That's what most people see love as. Like, love is you fulfill me. As soon as you get into you fulfill me, that is not love.
I'll just ask you another personal question. I was having a relationship with a certain person who has disappeared from my life for the last 8 years.
Yeah.
But still I love that person. That person is totally cut off. I was living for that person for about 20 years. Then suddenly one day, the relationship is gone. But still that love remains. Is it an illusion?
Everything's an illusion because there's nothing that's actually real, but just describe it a bit more, this love for them. This is where I say being honest about yourself. Is that a story that you tell yourself?
Okay, there is no. It's a person very important in my personal life who I thought lived for and would have died for about 20 years. Then on a misunderstanding, it just suddenly snapped. One fine day, I had to go and meet the person. The person said, "That's it, end of story." And I have not disturbed that person. I know where that person is, what the person is doing. I send. Yeah.
What do you mean by love for them?
I don't hate. See, love is a feeling, isn't it? It's an emotion.
Yeah.
For example, what do you feel towards Khaleesi? I mean, you can write a poetry about Khaleesi, about the wolf god.
Yeah.
But still, it's a feeling. I don't know, how do you explain a feeling of happiness, and that's what you call love. I mean, love towards.
There is love, but what I see love is love is when.
You mean to say love is false?
No, love is the end of seeking. That's everything. Amness, beingness, is total and utter love. And when you're rooted in that, then everything is love. But then you have beautiful bonds in the human or the animal or in this realm. So me and Khaleesi are so bonded together that when I wake up in the morning, exactly the same time, we sit up and look at each other in the eyes. Neither one goes first, not me nor her. If she feels fear, I'll always be feeling fear. If
Soulmates.
she's not, if there's something wrong with her, I can feel it. I'll go and have a look. Like the other day, I was sitting in the house, my friend's house, and she walked out onto the road. Someone had left the door open. And as soon as she stepped out of that door, I could feel it. I was sat in the kitchen and I just walked upstairs and I knew that there was something not right. And to this road where fast cars can come, even though I've been teaching her to go on the side. And so there's just this natural bond that can happen between people that live together, and it's so beautiful. And that's love in the human world, but we're not seeking from each other. If we seeked from each other, it would turn to love to hate. Love to hate. That's not love. So Khaleesi doesn't complete me. Khaleesi is a joy as she is in whatever form. So if she's an asshole and bites one of my guests or something, not that she would, but growls at one of my guests or barks at one of my guests, I don't have an expectation of her not to be like that. In the human form, I'll go, no, Khaleesi, and I'll send her to her bed and I'll say, you're not to do that. But I don't look for completion in her behavior. In romantic relationships, in even the guru-student relationship, the student is looking for the guru to be a particular way. And in your partner, you're looking to be a particular way. So if your partner doesn't behave that way, you hate them in that moment.
Why does it happen? That's what I want to ask you.
Because of seeking. One
second. In a romantic relationship, you love a person, then later on they don't fit into your model of the ideal.
But it's so unconscious.
Why do you hate them?
You hate them because they haven't fulfilled you.
Then that love was on a business contract, sort of. It was not romantic.
Yeah, it was about fulfilling them. Yeah, so they were about fulfilling you. It wasn't true love. So then when they reject you or they go off with another person or they do something, you hate them. It doesn't mean that I am not talking about being passive. Like, I am not a passive person. I can be quite a fiery character, you know. Like, if I'm out in the forest by myself, I'm strong.
You were in West Bank.
I'm like a wolf. I'm more like a wolf.
You were in West Bank, right?
In the West Bank, yes.
You were in West Bank.
But, so I'm not talking about not fighting. I'm not talking about not standing up for yourself, because sometimes this message becomes too passive. And what used to happen to me was I used to use non-duality to excuse bad behavior. So I used to use, I would use non-duality to accept somebody treating me badly, and I would turn it around on me. So I'd say, yes, but there's only my projection, so that's my projection. And then it allowed me to not stand up to that person. So I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about standing up for myself, but I'm talking about seeking to find completion in the other object. And rejecting another object, seeking and rejecting that object if it doesn't fulfill you as a separate person. This is why romantic relationships never work, because of seeking. You're looking for completion in them.
No, that's the question I'm asking you. I'm not looking for completion. As you said, in a romantic relationship, when things don't work out, I'm not seeking for a fulfillment from them. I'm not lacking anything. I'm expecting certain things to happen. That's not fulfillment. It's like going to a hotel and asking for a cup of tea. If I don't get tea, doesn't mean I'm expecting fulfillment from that teacup. Isn't it?
Well, you can only see that when somebody really screws you over. So look.
I have been screwed up. So I know that experience.
Yeah. See what happens if you hate them, then, and you're trying to hurt them, or you're whatever, see it when the opposite happens. But most
you split. That's it.
Sorry.
You split up.
Huh?
The relationship splits, I said.
Yeah.
Split. Yeah. S-P-L-I-T.
Yeah.
Now, what about the love of a person? For example, in the Second World War, Japanese pilots were committing suicide bombs from their fighter aircraft. Kamikaze. You would have heard about the kamikaze samurai, the guys with the sword.
Yeah.
Japan. What is that love for the country? I mean, what's happening there?
Seeking to be someone. They've just been brainwashed into believing that's the fulfillment, just like people that blow themselves up in the name of Allah.
That's not love.
No, that's not love. That's seeking. They've got this new identity which they're trying to fulfill.
Well, what about people dying for a certain person they love? They get a bullet for them. Somebody's going to fire at you and somebody goes and dies. You would have seen so many things in romantic novels.
That normally is somebody not seeking for anything. The human is a compassionate animal, and I would jump in front of a lorry for Khaleesi. I have done it before, because that's what happens in it. They're not all bad as humans. We have this side where we will die, but it's so spontaneous. When you do something like that, jumping to save or protect someone, it doesn't happen with you. It's impossible for you to be there. That's an act without you. And that is true love. But true love can come in any form when it's not identified, when you're not looking for completion in an object. And that's so sneaky, because you can tell yourself, oh, I'm not looking for a completion in an object, but deep down you're seeking.
Seeking what?
Whatever, but you might be cut off from your feelings, but you're seeking for completion.
No, in a romantic relation. No, you're requiring the other person as a human being.
Yeah. I just have to
You're
turn my
seeking
sound down. I'm getting too excited and making it blast. Yeah.
No, it's okay from my side.
No,
for example, if you go to a hotel and ask for a tea or a coffee, it's an arrangement. You pay the money and you take the tea, drink.
Yeah.
I am not going to the hotel for fulfilling myself through the teacup.
Yeah. So therefore, you just enjoy the tea.
Similarly, I want to enjoy a relationship with a person.
I'm not
fulfilling myself.
I bet you will be. What you'll be doing is you'll be seeking. It's be so unconscious, but you'll be seeking for the mother's love when you were rejected, or you'll be seeking for something, but you won't be conscious of it.
But this is Freud's psychology, seeking for mother's love and stuff.
Whatever it is, you'll be seeking something you lack, but you will not be conscious of it. I don't know how much.
Fine, that's fine.
Khaleesi's going to have a tantrum.
Yeah, maybe the last question.
Yeah.
See, when the amness only stays and the separation goes, there is true love.
Yeah.
That's when enlightened. When Bali happens to Nisaki.
For nothing. The body's acting for nothing.
Okay. Short of that, before we get our Balis, in human relationships, can there be true love? When the sense of separation exists, when I exist as Ilango, can there be true love, or whatever you call it? Or it's always a contract? The so-called true love for anybody is always a hidden contract.
It will come and go. The contract will come and go. The seeker will come and go. The seeker's always coming and going. So it'll be in a relationship and it'll have moments where it loves the person without any agenda, and then the seeker will come and then it will go and then it'll come. That's what it does. That's what it does. Have you seen it? She's so cute. Okay, I better go because she needs to go pee poo poo, and it's really late now. It's like 9 o'clock here.
Okay, in France.
Yeah, in France. Thanks, Ilango. I always enjoy talking with you. You've got so
Thank you very much.
fire, and I like it because I can my energy gets going as well. Not.
Thank you so much.
Oh, with pleasure. Oh, hang on. Thanks. Bye, Ilango.
Thank you. Bye.
So, guys, I really have to go now because Khaleesi's named pee pee poo poo. I think this is the longest ever stream I've done. We're now at 2 hours 49, so 2 hours 50 minutes. So, thanks, guys. I love you. Bye. Oh yeah, and so it's going to be about a month, I think, till the next stream. Okay, bye. But check on my website to find out.